Hey, what's going on? William Smith here, President, Legacy Empowerment Group. Happy Friday to you. Hope you had a good, positive week. I just wanted to give you some quick answers to a question I got asked today. I was with a client, we were having breakfast, and she mentioned that she wanted to know whether she was wasting money by having her money in the G fund. And so what I did was I said, look, let me show you. Instead of just answering it and give you a straight answer, let me just show you what you could be getting and what you are getting, right? And so what we did was I took out my phone because we just didn't have laptops. It was more of a casual breakfast, but she asked the question, so I wanted to answer it. I just went on my phone, I put in my Google TSP annual returns. And so what that did, that gave a different breakdown of all the funds. You could do this too. And the G fund over the last 10 years had an annual return of 2.36, okay? And so what we did then, the next step we did was we went and looked at her pay stub, and she was putting in about a 181 a pay period herself was her own contribution, and the government was contributing another 150. And so when we added everything up, it came out to around 733 is what she was putting in there a month between her contribution and the government's contribution. And so then we went to a savings calculator, and then we just started putting the math in. And so we just said, all right, let's just go back 10 years. And for the example that we chose, we just said, let's just say you had 30,000 in there 10 years ago. And so we did 30,000, we put $733 a month, then we put the 2.38 interest rate of what the G fund was for the last 10 years. And then we put a 10-year time frame. And the amount that came out was $137,000 was what came out as what the projected balance would be in that situation. And so then we just went back to the TSP fund chart, and then we just looked at the L2040, and at the average interest rate came out over a 10-year period was about 9.1%. And so we put that 9.1%, we took the 2.36 out, put the 9.1 in, and the amount that came out was $227,000. And so that was same amount of money being put in, same amount of money going into the TSP, just a different fund that was $90,000, around $90,000 that she could have had if she would have had her money in the L2040. So just, interest rates is really important no matter what it is, whether it's investing, credit card, mortgage. Just always remember to look at what your interest rate of your interest is, because in this case she could have gained 90,000. She lost 90,000 basically by keeping it in the G fund. But the same thing works for credit cards, anything like that. Always pay attention to what your interest rate is. Never neglect that. And this conversation we can get a lot deeper into, but I just wanted to give you the synopsis on that. That's what you're missing out on when you have your money in the G fund. Now, there are some positives in the G fund, but that's really for when you're older and closer to retirement. But we could talk about that later. Just wanted to give you some feedback, especially if you're in your mid-40s range. The G fund isn't the best bet, especially if you're in your 30s, really, as well. The G fund is just definitely not your best bet. So, all right, peace and love, y'all. Have a happy day. Happy Friday. All right, bye-bye.